The past of every language plays a significant role as far as communication, interaction is concerned. The past will always say give birth to the present, and the present will give birth to the future. To master every language art of communication, conscientious effort must be made to ensure that relaying events that are past and experiences are vital and well structured. So whether you're a beginner in French, or you're an intermediate learner, or you are already an advanced speaker, you'll find value with this video because we're looking at the Passé Composé of French. What do we need to make good verbs and sentences in the past tense? The icing on the cake is that I've left some things like practice exercise for students, especially in school, that might need to prepare for an exam. You can, and I will appreciate if you hit the subscribe button and follow this channel because there's more for you. The Passé Composé. In French, basically, we conjugate the past tense using two important ingredients. Number one, the auxiliary of the verb, avoir or être, and the participles of the particular verb we are putting in the Passé Composé. Now, when you say a verb is in the Passé Composé, we're simply trying to say that that verb is used to describe in that particular sentence an accomplished action. An action that had been completed in the past. That's what that verb is talking about. And to do that, we take the participles of the verb and the auxiliary avoir in the present tense. How do we get the participles of the verb? And how do we use it? We're going to touch that in a few seconds. When you talk about the verb avoir and the verb être, understand that those are called auxiliary verbs for a reason, and so we need those two verbs in their present tense to conjugate every other verb and their participles in the Passé Composé. There are verbs that go with the verb être, but the verb être on its own is conjugated with the verb avoir in the Passé Composé. The verb être participe passé is été, I accent aigu, T, I accent aigu. Then you want to say I was, j'ai été, tu as été, il a été, elle a été, nous sommes été, vous êtes été, ils ont été, elles ont été. That is for the verb être. For avoir, you still use the verb avoir in the present tense plus the participe passé to get the Passé Composé. J'ai eu, tu as eu, il a eu, elle a eu, nous avons eu, vous avez eu, ils ont eu, elles ont eu. Please write that in the comment section. I want to see if you got it. I intentionally did not put that right up here so that you can exercise your brain a bit. Write in the comment section. We're going to come back and mark it back to the verbs conjugated with the auxiliary être and avoir. We are what we call movement verbs in French, and these movement verbs, they are conjugated with the verb être in the Passé Composé. Now, the tricky thing about the verb être when conjugating it Passé Composé that there is agreement in number and in gender with the participle passé. Look at the list of the 16 popular movement verbs which you should be able to memorize. So when you see all the verbs like these, they are all conjugated with the verb être, present of the verb être, for their Passé Composé. Aller will be je suis allé. You see the participe passé there. Venir will be je suis venu. Entrer will be je suis entré. So will be je suis sorti. Je suis arrivé. That arrivé, there's supposed to be a something you there, include that. Je suis parti. Je suis monté. Je suis descendu, je suis né, il est mort, il est mort, il est revenu, il est retombé, retourné, Il est tombé, il est resté, il est rentré, il est devenu. All these verbs, these 16 verbs listed there are called movement verbs, and we conjugate them with the verb être in the passé composé. When we observe closely, we see that the first 12 verbs are opposite in meaning. That's the other one I talked about, and then I just gave you here an acronym, Dr. Vanda Mrs. Trump. So that's for you to remember all the 16 verbs, to be precise. And as you look at what we have devenu, mourir, rester, retourner, venir, sortir, aller, tomber, naître, revenir, descendre, arriver. So you have montrer, entrer, partir. Let's look at the verb arriver, to arrive. That's the day. Because it's a movement verb, I use the verb être to conjugate. You have je suis arrivé. I put an extra E in front of that je suis arrivé, as you see on your screen there, because if the person speaking is feminine, you take an extra E. Tu es arrivé. So it's supposed to be just one E in bracket. That extra E is not, it's uncalled for. We have il est arrivé, elle est arrivée, nous sommes arrivés, vous êtes arrivés, ils sont arrivés, elles sont arrivées. So you see how it is conjugated. You do the same thing for every other 15 verbs in that list of verb conjugated with the verb être. So you have the present tense of the verb être and the participle passé agreeing in number and gender with the participle passé to have your passé composé. That's how it's done for the verb être. That's how it works. Having talked about the verb être, there's one thing I have not mentioned which I'm going to come to, is the fact that apart from these 16 movement verbs and their derivatives, very important, the next sets of verbs that you use the verb être to conjugate their passé composé is the reflexive verb. We will see that as we go on. For the verb avoir, most verbs are conjugated with the verb avoir in a passé composé, including the verb être, I said that earlier. Now, this means that apart from those 16 verbs I've listed already, you conjugate all other verbs with the verb avoir, except those verbs are reflexive. Now, with the verbs conjugated with avoir in the passé composé with the participle passé, there is nothing like agreement in number and gender. The only thing we have is called accord de l'objet, accord de participle passé as we go on, and that is for another lecture which I've on the first version in the course per series. Now let's look at an example of a first group verb. First group verbs are verbs that end in er. Now to get their participle passé in French is very easy. All you need to do, remove the r at the end. That e at the end of the verb, make it e accent aigu. You can see the verb dormir. We remove the r here. I will put E with accent on it. That becomes the participle passé. Then we took the present tense of the verb avoir, added the participle passé of the verb to it, and we have our passé composé conjugated perfectly. We have j'ai donné, tu as donné, il a donné, elle a donné, on a donné. We have nous avons donné, we have vous avez donné, ils ont donné, elles ont donné. So when you do apply that, the verb is conjugated perfectly in the passé composé without stress. To have an example, you can pick any verb in the arrow, rather than a movement verb, and this formula will help you conjugate it perfectly. The next thing I want you to focus on is the second group verbs. Now, second group verbs ends in IRO. However, not every verbs in IRO is a second group verb. We've seen sortir is a third group verb, but it ends in IRO. Well, look at this choisi. For second group verbs, we remove the arrow and just leave the I there to form the participle passé. And then we have j'ai choisi, tu as choisi, il a choisi, elle a choisi, on a choisi, nous avons choisi, vous avez choisi, ils ont choisi, elles ont choisi. That is how you conjugate it as well. It's not difficult to remove the arrow. You have your participle passé, conjugate your avoir in present tense, attach your participle passé to it, and you have the verb in passé composé. Now, some IR verb, like I said earlier, they are not second group verb. They are irregular, we call them third group verbs. Look for example this list: dormir, monter, sortir, servir, accueillir, cueillir, partir, sentir, asseoir, fuir, bouillir. Now they still have their participle passé like some other verbs, although they are third group verbs. So, but there are some other ones that ends in IR which are completely different. So please take note of them. Master these common ones and you'll be good to go in your French journey. I believe you're getting value for your time, and let's see very briefly some few more things before we wrap up this video. The past participle of a verb with ROE verbs, which are third group verbs. Now when you have verbs that ends in ROE, most of the time what we do is to remove the ROE and put the U. It works for a lot of them, but not all. You have, for example, vendre as vendu, répondre as répondu, battre as battu, rompre as rompu, vaincre as vaincu. Now these are verbs that have their participle passé, remove the ROE and put your U there to get the participle passé. And with your auxiliary avoir or être, depending on the type of verb, you can conjugate the passé composé effortlessly. And I gave a whole list of other ones. Look at être, été, suivre, suivi, suffit as suffi, sourire as souri, rire is rire, acquérir is acquis. You see, acquis, it has changed. Conquérir is conquis, prendre is pris, mettre is mis, apprendre appris, comprendre compris, surprendre surpris, reprendre appris, dire is dit. You see the change now. There is écrit is écrit. You have décrit as décrit, construit as construit, you have conduit as conduit, cuit as cuit, détruit as détruit, produire as produit, you have reconstruire as reconstruit, traduit as traduit, you have faire as faire, connaître as connu, reconnaître as reconnu, apercevoir as aperçu, you have concevoir as conçu, recevoir as reçu, devoir is due, avoir is eu, croire is cru, voir is bu, pouvoir is pu. So you can see the irregular nature of the participle passé. Once again, if it's not a movement verb, you take the verb participle passé, conjugate avoir, put all the participle passé in front of them, and that verb is already in the past tense. Before we go to the cherry on the cake, I did tell you initially when we began that the verb être is used for movement verb and for reflexive verb. Now look at an example here. Se laver, that is to bathe oneself. Je me suis lavé. You see, I had to put the reflexive pronoun there. Me, because of that, so there in the infinitive of the verb. And I must use the verb être as the participle passé to conjugate it. It's a must. Every reflexive verb uses the verb être to conjugate their participle passé composé with the participle passé. So how do I derive my participle passé? Does not change. It's an ER verb. I remove the arrow, ER contigu, and my participle passé. So I must be laver, tu t'es lavé, il s'est lavé, on s'est lavé, elle s'est lavé. Now look, there's agreement in gender. They must agree in gender because the verb word être. Nous nous sommes lavés, vous vous êtes lavés, ils se sont lavés, elles se sont lavées. Double E there because it's feminine. Agreement in number and gender. With that, let's look at some brief exercise here. I underline the answers. You can practice with them as a student to help you understand them. The question is provide the passé composé of the verb in brackets. Now we have elle sortit de la classe. Elle sortit de la classe. The question is, this verb sortir, is it a movement verb or not? Yes, it's a movement verb. And the action is carried out by someone and it happens on someone. Okay, so it's a movement verb. That means the very first thing I need to do is that I'm going to be using the verb être to conjugate the passé composé. That's the first thing. Number two, what is the participle passé of the verb? So I have my être participle passé, and I look at the number and the gender as far as the sentence is concerned. Elle is singular, feminine gender. So that one the answer is D. Elle sortit. Look at tu, they have venu à la classe. Now venu is also a movement verb. Être, you go for it. So tu es venu become our answer. We have nous in bracket manger du pain. Manger is not a movement verb, so I know it's avoir. And after nous is nous avons. Manger, IR verb comme IR sont aigus. We have si, nous avons mangé. We have elle in bracket aimer les fruits. Aimer is not a movement verb, it's not a reflexive verb, that's okay, it's avoir. So that means A is out of it. Elle is plural, O-N-T, on. Aimer, A as an I-M-E as an aigu, on, aimer. So that's how you get the verbs. So you have vous, then bracket apporter un sac de friandises. Vous de apporter un sac de friandises. You have vous apporter un sac de friandises. Apporter is not a movement verb. So I know you have my vous avez, because that's the personal pronoun, vous avez, and then you have that avez as your avoir. Then apporter the R verb, I know it's E as something you at the end. So when you do it like this, you will not find issues with it. And if you are a student, I'm actually wishing you the best. I'm rooting for you. Look at that example. We have je descends de la voiture. Et j'ai descendu. That will not be the answer because this one refers to an action by a person. And it's a movement verb. So it will be je suis descendu. Now we have B as the answer. Je suis descendu. We have number 8 here. Il parlait tout le temps. I know parler has to do with okay, it's not a movement verb, it's ER verb. I have my participle passé à parler. Vous faire la vaisselle. Faire is the verb to do, is not a movement verb, so you have faire. Nous aller en vacances. I know that aller is a movement verb in that list, so you're gonna be nous sommes allés aux vacances. So sommes allés because our answer. 11 is je, then in bracket être disponible hier. Now remember for the verb être, I told you that to write in the comment section the conjugation. The participle passé of the verb être, like we saw in the list of the third group verbs, is I accent aigu, T, I accent aigu, that's été. And I used it avoir to conjugate it. So I have je in bracket être, and then j'ai été. That way you have the number 11. You have elle croit ses amis. Croire is not a moving verb, so elle a cru à ses amis. Then you have il se levait de bonnes heures. Il se levait de bonnes heures. Il se levait de bonnes heures. Now this is a reflexive verb. We had se laver. Now this is se lever, to wake up. And they woke up in good time, on time. So I know that number 1, I have my ear there. When my reflexive pronoun was with so, then what is verb am I using? Is the verb être because it's a reflexive verb. So être to be the participle passé. We have il s'est levé de bonnes heures. So these are some few exercises you can practice and practice. Aussi, c'est un forgeron qu'on devient forgeron. La pratique est la mère de l'habileté. Et petit à petit, l'oiseau fait son nid. 3 proverbs in French together, meaning practice makes perfection. So please give it a try. Go over the video again, watch it and look it and master the exercises. Once again, conjugate the verb avoir and être in the Passé Composé in the comment section. I'm going to come back and a big thumbs up to you. Thank you very much. This is going to be the end of the video. Till the next one, enjoy and remain with us on the channel. Bye.